Did you push record?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
You see that red dot?
Okay, yeah. Craig Jones.
Devin Jones.
We are ghetto today. It's so bad because it's so hot and muggy in this like little podcast room we're in. Man, we don't care. We are father and son, and the other night I was in the mood to watch something of a retro style, and I put on The Professional, the movie from 1990 something, whenever it was, and he just came and sat down and started watching the movie with me, and I figured, well, let's do a retro review. Let's talk about The Professional, because had you ever heard of The Professional before? Do you know anything about it?
I didn't know anything about it, but one of my friends strongly suggested that I watched it.
Who was that? All right, don't worry about it.
No. And I just never did, because I think I tried to one day, but it wasn't free on anything.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
Here I am, almost like a year later, watching it.
Yeah, and if you've never seen it, it's just a movie about a hitman and a little girl. It was Natalie Portman. I think it was like her first movie, I think.
Yeah, it's crazy, because,
Did you recognize that was Natalie Portman? Because she's like 10 years old, I swear.
I'm used to Padme.
Yeah. Be like, did it take you a minute to be like, hey, that's...
No, I knew who she was immediately.
Yeah, because she looks the same. She looks like a little kid.
She has a recognizable face.
Yeah, just where she maybe grew like half a foot since this movie. She's tiny. But I really enjoyed the film because I remember loving it in the theater, and I thought, is it as good? Does it hold up? And I think it does, man. Gary Oldman, the villain, he's so over the top. Sometimes I'm like, come on, man. But then when he'll have a line, I'll be like, it's just awesome. But I definitely don't take him seriously as a character because he's so over the top. But I think everyone in the movie is kind of over the top. Leon is just such a cold, calculated dude.
Yeah,
but he's almost like a child. There's a lot of things about that movie I like. But I'm more curious to hear what you thought of it because you had... you didn't really know anything about it. You just kind of went into it blind.
I knew he was a hitman, and I knew that Natalie Portman was in it, and that's sort of it. I knew that she was the kid and that he was a hitman. That's all I knew about it. But it's a sad movie, man.
Yeah, very sad movie.
But I mean, it's good though. There wasn't really anything I didn't like about it.
Really?
I don't think so.
If there's anything I didn't like, it's that it was kind of silly. Some of the stuff.
It's supposed to be.
Yeah, but it's supposed to be.
Because it's this like hard R-rated, just depressing movie, but then they put a little bit of like childlike, stupidness in it, and that's the whole point. Because that's kind of what Leon's character is. Yeah,
he's like a big child.
Yeah.
Yeah, he never matured. He just became this monstrous killer.
Yep.
And I never really truly bought that as the relationship between him and Danny Aiello, his handler. It's just like, it seems kind of forced a little bit, but it was okay because I love Danny Aiello. Rest in peace. He was a great actor. I really enjoyed. What did you think about the action as like compared to today's action? It's a little different, man.
It's good though.
How did you feel about it?
It's a lot more creative than a lot of the stuff I see now.
How so?
Like a lot of stuff now, it's action it's just the same sort of shooting garbage.
Quick cuts and stuff.
Yeah. But in this, homie's like hanging from the ceiling, swinging down, shooting fools, and climbing back up. It's cool.
Yeah, they take their time with the action. Really, yeah. It's it's not so quick cut, scenes. Man. They're like choreographed, and I like that. Yeah, I forgot about that.
I'm not saying the action movies now aren't good. Like John Wick, that was creative. A lot.
Those are choreographed a little more. Yeah.
I like stuff where the action scenes take their time and the people aren't invincible. They're taking hits and all that.
Well, Leon seemed like he was invincible
up until the end.
I do like spoilers. I do like the fact that he. Did you notice that he had a job to go on. He went on the job, but he came back and he was bleeding.
Yeah.
And what that meant is that he was that she was getting to him. He was starting to care about being alive, and he wasn't just this machine anymore. He was becoming human. I thought that was deep, man. It's a deep movie.
Yeah.
And this is something that I'm not alone in. A lot of critics at the time said the same thing. At times, it feels a little icky. because it feels like the little girl is kind of sexualized at some points in the movie. It's not overt, but I'm just like, I don't really.
No, she is at least like 3 times, and I don't
really like.
It's just
that.
uncomfortable. It seems.
Yeah, I was like, no. I mean, I never felt like he was falling in love with her.
No, he was always like, hey.
I mean, she was saying, "I'm in love with you," but that's because she was going through some crazy stuff.
Yeah.
But it's the way the camera would follow her sometimes. There's this one egregious shot. I remember in the theater I saw it, and I noticed it, and then I noticed it again here, where she walks around a table, and the camera moves with her torso, and I'm like, dude, hey, I don't need you to be doing that. No, because she's it's in underwear or something. I can't, or like scantily clothes. I was like, I don't want to see it. Even though Natalie Portman now is like a woman in probably her 30s or 40s, and amazingly beautiful woman who I'd love to see walk around a table in her underwear, but not when she's 11 years old. No.
And man, the world sucks because there's some people watching that movie enjoying it.
Enjoying it. Oh, he loved her so much. He loved her. I was like, there's a different kind of, it's a paternal love that he had for her.
He was trying to be, he was like father figure type stuff. She was falling in, and it wasn't cool.
But somebody who's, like you said, warped a little bit might see a movie like this and be thinking, oh, this is a testament that, you can be, that way with a child, and you can't, all right?
No.
So that's the only thing I don't like about it. Maybe not film it in a certain way.
It's like that whole demographic in the movie is just it's just there. And
demographic, that's not the right word.
But I know, but
everybody knows.
You know what I meant.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But, it's like that whole thing. It's just like, because that's like that like edgy kind of filming, to where that people are gonna get backlash for it. But I don't know
if that's what it was. That guy who made it, he's a French guy. He's made some really good movies. And he's got that European style. They're not as hung up on it as we are, so maybe he might not even thought about it.
Like in movies, when someone like shoots a kid in the face, you don't see that very often.
Yeah, I don't want to see it.
That's the type of thing where it's just like it's like there are certain things that happen that you just don't film. They're just stuff that you don't put in fiction.
I don't want to see it, man. And
but he did
icky,
with this.
Man. It was
but
icky.
I'm glad he didn't make Leon get all on it and all that. I'm glad Leon was still just like, hey.
Well, if it had been that type of movie, I wouldn't be watching it again.
Yeah, I wouldn't enjoy it that much.
No, I ain't with that.
No.
But other than that guy, what is his name? The guy who made that movie, Besson, I think. He's made some good movies. You've seen his movies. Remember, oh my gosh, what was the name of that movie that everyone hated but we loved? It just came out a few years ago. It was this big sci-fi epic.
I don't know.
Where it was this man and this woman, and they were in space and fighting monsters, and it was, what was the name of that damn movie? I loved it too. We went to the drive-in and saw it. It was great, but it was this massive scale type of thing, man. What was the name of that movie? Luc Besson, he made that movie. The
movie with that one dude that's the bad guy in the superhero movie with the 3 kids. I can't remember the name of.
Superhero movie with the 3 kids.
The 3 teenagers. You got.
Yeah.
That
Chronicle,
movie.
That bad guy. He was in the movie. He was the lead.
Yeah. I remember that.
I love that movie.
It was good. I think I fell asleep during it and never watched it again. But.
Oh, yeah, blasphemy. Luc Besson, he's made some good movies, man. He made The Fifth Element, which is great.
I haven't seen that.
I mean, it's good. I enjoy it a lot, but I understand why people don't. But no, he's made some really cool flicks, man. And this movie, I think, was one of his best. Yep. And it's a small story too. I like that they didn't overcomplicate it. They didn't throw in a whole lot of extra plot that didn't need to be there. It's a very simple story.
They tell you what you need to know to understand it. They don't give you a whole lot of backstory about the bad guy or anything. You don't know who he is. He's just this mysterious little douche. So it just works. Yeah, no, I think it's a good movie. I'd probably rate it the bomb diggity. It's good. It's got nice heartwarming scenes. And then some really uncomfortable scenes, but then after those, then it's some nice heartwarming stuff again, and then a lot of killing and action and all that. And the effects are cool. I hate CGI blood and all that. It just looks like garbage usually. Right. And in this they have squibs on there and it looks so much better.
Yeah, I would give it the bomb diggity, but I'm gonna say worth the popcorn, and it's only because sometimes I didn't like the way they filmed her. I was like, that is a child. stop filming her that way.
Yeah.
It crossed that line for me.
Yeah.
I don't know if they were trying to though, so that's why I'm not going to totally demonize
think-
it. But for me, I was like, that's a little
Yeah.
too much.
Like, I don't
man.
think they were really trying to film her in a creepy way. They were just like,
But they succeeded.
they were just filming her like on what that character is.
No, that was bull, man. There's times where I'm like, get that camera out of her.
It's not okay. No.
Essence. Just
it's
stop,
not right.
man. It's not right. But I don't think they meant it that way, like you said. So it was just something that offended me. But once I get past that, I do think it's worth the popcorn because the action is amazing. I really like the story. I like the leanness of the story. They didn't throw a bunch of crazy stuff in there that I didn't care about. It was like, yeah, and like you said, sometimes you don't need to go into back stories of people. You don't need to go explain why this person is this way or why that person's that way. Sometimes it's good just to show them being who they are.
Wasn't that your problem with the John Wick sequels and stuff? Because you didn't like that they just kept on doing this world building.
I like the first John Wick a lot, and then the
first
second
one was
one I
amazing.
was like, I don't, because those movies have become more about the world than about him, and I don't like that. All that backstory and that everyone in the world is an assassin and there's a government. I don't care. I don't give a crap. But I'm in the minority on that one, so that's okay. A minority in the minority. But this movie, I love that it was so lean. It really goes by fast. I mean, it never drags, and that's because it's like I said, like I was trying to say before I got interrupted here, is that sometimes you don't need to go into great depth about where someone comes from or who they are, how they became this. That's for novels. Sometimes in movies, you can just show what people are doing at the moment and then allow the audience to fill in the blanks for themselves. Yeah. And that's what I like about this movie. Like, I can come up with a backstory for Leon in my head. It would be completely different from yours, but I bet they'd both be interesting because the movie lets me do that. Yeah. It doesn't have to explain everything to me. A lot of people I know right now, they want movies to explain everything to them, and I'm saying sometimes I don't need to know a character's motivation. I can figure that out on my own. I just like seeing what that character is doing, especially if he's being played by a top-notch actor, which is what I saw in this movie. So what do you think about Gary Oldman, the villain? What do you think about him?
Dude, crazy. And I just think it's funny. Because, I liked that they didn't give a whole lot of backstory on him because you just know nothing about him.
Sometimes it's okay just for the bad guy to be bad.
Like,
I don't care why he's that way. He's just a bad dude.
All you really know about him that he's this powerful, murderous drug addict type dude.
Who's working in drug law enforcement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, law enforcement.
When he would take his pill and then do his neck thing, I was like,
he'd just be like, I'm like, chill. No, it's cool.
That's a running joke. A lot of people, everyone, when he's asked, who? Everyone.
Yeah. Man gets the whole police force down there just to kill one dude.
I'm glad that they didn't. When the other reinforcements came, he didn't end up killing all of them, though. They left the building. Yeah. The ones that Leon killed were just the crooked ones that were with him in the first place, so that was cool. Yeah, I like the movie. I can't wholeheartedly recommend it because of just the creepy. Yeah. But some people might not think of it. They might not see it that way. So
it's creepy.
It's up to you to determine whether you think it was creepy. I have such a paternal instinct. I'm kind of like protect children. I'm like, it just went. It didn't cross the line, but it went close enough to it where I'm like, all right, you need to stop.
Like, you didn't go way too far, but it's a little bit much.
It didn't cross the line, but it got close to that line, and that's enough for somebody like me. I'm old school. I'd be, hey. If I had been her parents, I'm like, hey.
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't be in a movie like that if I was that young. Shoot, even now, I'm not. No, you don't put minors in something and film them.
Well,
they
used to, like movies like Taxi Driver and stuff. They had a young girl, and
it's just not cool. It's different if they're like 17, 16 or something. It's still weird, but it's different. It's a whole different thing.
Right. But that's okay. I mean, to each their own, but
if you can watch The Professional, and just a warning, it's like she's like 9, 10 or something.
Yeah.
And the way that they film her in certain scenes is just uncomfortable. like
And maybe it's supposed to be, you know.
yeah, like there's one scene where she's playing a game with him, and it's just no, it's just not okay. And there's another scene.
That was
no,
okay.
That was weird. No.
I was all right with that one.
I wasn't on that. And then the scene that I was just like, come on, is when she's like confessing her love for him. It's not okay.
Yeah, but I was okay with that. No, it's just the way the camera followed her sometimes. I was like, I don't want to see this. You know, this is feeling creepy to me.
Yeah. There's some scenes that are more upfront about the creepiness than there are some that are subtle, like just
I think
the
it was
way
more
that
creepy to you than it was to me, because I was just kind of like, for me, I didn't care about those plot elements of story when they were talking to each other. That was fine.
I didn't like the way they were tracking her hands with that scene.
All right.
Because of what they were.
Yeah.
It's not okay.
Yeah.
No,
you're right.
That wasn't
you're right.
cool. No.
Yeah, that's not. I don't like the way they filmed her. I don't. It bothered
It's
me.
the way that the camera moves with her body in a lot of scenes is just uncomfortably stupid.
Yeah,
It's
I didn't need to see that. But see, I understand why. There's a lot of close-ups of her, and I understand why, because she's such a good actor, even at that age. Mm-hmm. That how could you not film that? I mean, because she was so expressive in what she was doing.
Yeah, Natalie Portman is a great actor,
and she's a beautiful at the time little girl. So it's okay to put that, but
yeah, it's a different.
Once you start getting into body shots and all that, I'm like, hey.
Yeah, it's different. She's like an adorable little cute girl at that point.
Right.
When she gets older and she's just hot, then it's okay.
Yeah, like she is now.
Yeah, now she's a good looking woman. Yeah. But when you're younger, there's no hot children. That's not okay. They're all just
no hot children.
No, they're just cute.
Yeah, right. All right, well,
it's just not right.
People know how we feel. We're like, if you ever wondered how we felt about that, you heard it right now.
It's the problem with the movie. I would have been slightly more okay with it if they had her just sort of say imply this sort of stuff, but then not film it the way that they did.
Yeah, I didn't have a problem with the dialogue and how she was saying, "Oh, I think I'm in love with you," because she's just this little kid, man. She's going through this horrible thing.
No, but that's even the dialogue isn't the problem.
Yeah, but
the camera.
I know what you're talking about.
I don't like that.
I ain't like it either.
No.
Luc Besson, you sick, but no. I'm just no. But other than that little unfortunate business, the movie's good. Lighting was great. The overall color timing of the film is great.
Yeah.
That was still in the days of not digital, but analog type film. So, the coloring was a little harder to do back then, and they did a really nice job. Really nice job. I enjoyed that film. I really did. I remember that movie came out about the same time as Speed. Speed came out like a month earlier. You've seen Speed, right? With Keanu Reeves?
I don't think so.
Well, that's a good one.
I've seen parts of it.
People were comparing it to that one, which is stupid. They're two different kinds of movies. So I remember a reviewer was like, The Professional makes Speed look like a slow drive to Grandma's house. I was like, shut up, you bastards. Oh. I mean, I know we sort of are critics here, but I hate it when people do stuff and try to be clever with this. Just stop, man. You either like the movie or don't. But it's not better than Speed. It's just a different kind of movie.
Yeah. So I mean, if you can
they both have very stupid aspects to them. Trust me.
If you won't be too uncomfortable with the creepiness in this movie, I would suggest watching
back to the creepiness
because that's the fair warning.
We've already warned them about that.
Did we even do the parents guide?
Hey, don't let your kids watch The Professional.
No. For every reason in the book, don't let your kids watch the movie.
It's violent. There's inappropriate talk. There's sex in the movie.
Violent, sexual garbage.
I don't think there's any nudity in the movie, but there's...
No, they cover it up with the one scene where it's
there's a moment where, the whole family is murdered, and that's pretty shocking.
I remember I was talking about
that bathtub thing is shocking, man.
Yeah, I remember I was talking about it earlier. A child gets capped in this movie. They don't show it, but a young child gets killed in this movie.
Yeah, he's 4 years old. They just talk about it. They don't show it, but...
They show his body traced, but they don't show his body.
Yeah, it's not cool. Say it's not for children.
It's not a movie you want to watch when you're younger.
14 and up. He's too young to watch it. I didn't plan on showing it to him. He just came and sat down. And I was watching it. So
I was hungry and I smelled bacon.
I had made turkey bacon.
Yes. Yeah, I smelled some bacon and I was like, oh, he's watching this movie. My friend told me to watch this a while ago. Might as well.
Yeah, and good watch.
It
holds up. Yeah. It's a good movie.
It's a good movie. It's creepy. It's a good movie. So watch it if you can get past that.
Yeah, just yeah.
Like I would suggest watching it if you're old and you understand that it's all fiction.
And you're a normal human being that doesn't have those weird, creepy tendencies, you know. Mm-hmm. If you do have those weird, creepy tendencies, I think you should just go ahead and lean into the batter's box, take one for the team, and off yourself. There, I said it. I'm not taking it back.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Leave the kids alone. That's what I'm saying. That's as far as we're gonna go with that. Mm-hmm. This used to be such a family channel, man.
Yeah, we used to be on here like, hi guys.
When he was young, man.
Reviewing like Wreck-It Ralph and Disney movies stuff. Now we on here talking about pedophiles killing themselves.
Nobody watched those though. We do the family movies and people, but then we did the Joker and it was like 600 views in a day.
Because people like to see like a younger dude, someone
talk about
like me. I was barely even pubescent. Me talk about R-rated movies like that, just to see like an adult's perspective,
to
a
see
father,
if the
child's perspective
should be watched by.
Yeah,
I get it. But we used to do whenever we boy.
I got it. Fine.
Come on, man. That's why they don't want you eating in here, man.
I'll clean it up.
If my bosses see this, they're gonna be like, Craig, why are you in the podcast room eating chips?
Well, you're eating a
That's
bunch
why I
of
told you don't be. I don't want any crumbs.
I know.
My bosses watched that video, the Star Wars video, and they liked it. They didn't.
Yeah.
They didn't talk mess about us eating in here.
Oh,
okay.
We hungry.
So, The Professional, good movie.
Watch it if you're older,
and if you ain't a pedophile, I don't want you
to
get
no
ideas. Get help.
Go find a cliff.
We're gonna get sued.
What? We're gonna be sued by a pedophile?
Sued by a pedophile's family if they really go and kill them. So don't kill yourself. Get some help. All right. You know if you got problems. So
can
you
get help for that?
Yes, you can. Let's be real. You know if you got problems with that, go get some help. Figure out how to not act on those impulses because they ain't right, and you're screwing up people's lives.
Yeah.
There you go. And don't let this movie make you think that it's cool to be that way because it's not. And you know it's not cool to be this way, so just knock it off.
Yeah, I've heard of like pedophiles talking and saying it's just like a fetish. Like, no, it's a lot more than that.
If it's a fetish, then keep it to yourself.
If it's a fetish, annihilate it.
Find something else to do with your time.
It's cool to have fetishes with all the other weird garbage. That's just your thing. Do what you want, but children is not okay.
If you want to kill yourself, don't do it.
If you like children and you want to kill yourself, like totally do not do it.
Wait, dude, I like children. I just don't.
You like children, but you don't like children. Yeah. It's fine to like kids.
I love children, but I don't.
Children are funny and
children.
Cute. They're cute.
Yeah,
they're not attractive.
Cute. Yes, there you go.
They're not attractive.
Right.
They're adorable. Sometimes.
Right.
So
you can have a beautiful little child, but they're not attractive.
There's two different kinds.
That's perfect. I'm going to say it.
There's two different kinds of beautiful.
I can't believe we're talking about this in this video, man. Oh, it's my fault. Too. It's my fault. I brought it up. It's my fault.
Hey, we had to bring that up.
You always go too far, though, when you start talking about this stuff, man. You always... When we did the Breakfast Club review... The first half is the Breakfast Club, and then the second half is this rant on COVID and dating and all kinds of stuff. And you just kept going too far. I have to bring him back in because he'd start calling names and stuff. And
I just sort of, I just say what I think. Some stuff I'll hold back, but
this one, it's hard to hold back with this though, man.
Yeah,
it's hard to hold
back.
See,
the COVID-19 thing, that's a lot of like opinions and stuff.
There ain't no opinion on pedophilia, man.
Yeah,
you just stop doing that stuff, man. Just stop it. Just knock it off. That's what I'm saying.
There are a couple of things that just ain't right.
And if I offend you by saying that, there you go. How's that? Yeah. Dang, we are definitely not a family channel anymore. Gosh. Dude.
Every once in a while, we're a family channel.
We're not anymore. We're just not. We're
because I'm older.
We're a grown channel now.
I can channel. Got the mustache.
You could make, that's our mic right there.
I know.
Every time you binging.
It's just because my hand.
It sounds like Law and Order.
It's just a really wobbly table, so my skin will just stick to it.
Yeah. All right, let's call this one a day. The Professional. It's a good movie.
Watch it if you're older. Don't watch it when you're young.
Just end it with it's a good movie and that's it, man. And peace.
Well, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
It's a good movie.
It's a good movie. Peace.
It's weird.